It is time for House Republicans to unite around a good, conservative Republican to be the next Speaker of the House. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video today. It is time that we talk about the speakership chaos that is currently unfolding on Capitol Hill, because everyone, it is time that we finally discuss who should be the next Speaker of the House of those that have declared as of now, or at least very likely to declare in the coming days, because next week, supposedly, Republicans are finally going to get a Speaker of the House, and it's time we discuss who should we pick of the options that are realistic and have announced as of now. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. And again, it is still bullcrap what they pulled on Congressman Jim Jordan. Let's be clear about this before we even start. However, alright, it is time, I guess, to move on because, you know, we do need to find a Speaker of the House. Because Jordan will never get the votes because there's 20 asshole Republicans that they're doing it for petty reasons, not for policy. It's whatever. It sucks. I like Jim Jordan. He's one of the best congressmen. But sadly, we're not going to get Speaker Jordan, at least for now. But I think it's time we look at the alternatives because there are some options that Republicans have that are surprisingly good. Now, let's read what this has to say. There is still no end in sight for the high-stakes speakership battle after House Republicans ousted Kevin McCarthy more than 2 weeks ago. The search is on for a new GOP speaker nominee after Jim Jordan on Friday became the latest exit from the race. It's already shaped up to be a crowded candidate field. Frustrations and divisions have only intensified within the conference as House Republicans search for a way to resolve their impasse. Here's one way. Whoever gets the most votes, alright, and again, this should not be a secret ballot crap. I'm talking about this should be done publicly. Whoever gets the most votes, vote for them. Because at this point in time, the options that we do got, they all are better, even if it's by like a 1% difference from Kevin McCarthy. Even though there is a surprising choice here that is actually better than McCarthy when you think about it, but we'll get to that in a second, or at least the most, like 90% of the options are far better than McCarthy. So whoever gets the most votes, support them for speaker. Be done with it. Now, if it's somebody like Patrick McHenry, that's a different story, but of the ones that have announced so far, there is zero, absolutely zero reasons for these asshole 20, that's what I'm calling them, to oppose them. I'm talking about the ones just last week, the ones that screwed Jordan over. Zero reason. So let's look at who is running as of now. And the biggest name as of now is Congressman Tom Emmer, who serves as the majority whip. He said in a letter to his colleague Sharon Saturday that he was seeking a speakership with the goal of delivering historic change. Now, Emmer is not on paper, isn't the best person in the world, all right? He definitely has some question marks, especially when it comes to how he handled 2022, and really because he's not that good of a whip. And also you got the Somali stuff, but that's, you know, a different story. But even then, you look at his Numbers USA scorecard, surprisingly, it's actually kind of good for his career. Even in the current Congress, he actually has a very strong record. You take out the one before 2016, or I should say 2015, he has actually, surprisingly, a very solid record on Numbers USA considering. Now, again, there is the Somali stuff, which, look into it, it's kind of just the dumbest thing you've ever heard, but, you know, it is what it is, but he is, in my opinion, somebody that can get the votes if we need it. Now, he is definitely my last choice for the speakership because, you know, you look at his scorecard, let's look up Emmer. You know, he has an 80% lifetime rating. What did McCarthy have? It was around 84. So, on paper, they're about the same. But Emmer, I would say, is the last resort candidate. I think that if you need a vote for somebody to prevent, like, Don Bacon from pulling something with Democrats, I would say go with Emmer. Again, this is a last resort opinion, in my opinion at least. It seems like he's well liked in the conference, even though he screwed us last year with how he handled the, you know, funding for certain candidates. But it seems like for some reason people like Matt Gaetz like him. They must know that they could kind of like control him, I guess, or at least, you know, make sure he doesn't do what McCarthy did. So I think there is definitely a pathway for Emmer, and I do think he would be a decent option if we absolutely needed to. Like I'm saying, hey, if he gets the majority, if it prevents McHenry or somebody else from being speaker, I would say just go ahead. But remember, just say, hey, if you do the same crap McCarthy pulled, you're gone also. So Emmer, I would say, is definitely on the last of the list of the ones that I want, of those that are currently running. Just for the fact that, you know, he does have the best record, but it's still, like, about the same, if not slightly above that of McCarthy, especially in recent years. But, hey, it's one candidate. Hopefully we don't have to deal with Emmer, but seems like even the Freedom Caucus likes him. I don't know why, but yeah. Now, the second option is somebody that I think absolutely should be Speaker of the House. One of the main options. Kevin Hern. He will be running for Speaker. And I think Kevin Hern, I know this sounds crazy, I think he has the easiest pathway of all these candidates. I know that Tom Emmer, you know, he's the majority whip, but it seems like people like Kevin Hern a whole hell of a lot more than Emmer. From everything we've heard, like, he's a chair of the Republican Study Committee. Everybody seems to really like him. And unironically, he has one of the best voting records in the House. A 98% in ACU, which again, the ACU scorecard can be very wacky at times. But it seems like that he does have a very solid record. I mean, he has an A record on his Numbers USA scorecard, 92% career. And when you really look at it, I think it should be 100%. Look at this. 100% for every single part. Reduce chain migration, reduce visa lottery, reduce unnecessary worker visas, etc. This is somebody that I would say is, of the ones running, probably my second option for speaker. I think he could absolutely be a phenomenal speaker. He is great on the issues. It seems like the House caucus, the conference loves him. And one advantage that he has that I don't think enough people are talking about, he hasn't been in the House long enough to piss people off. He's only been there since 2019, which I think is a big factor that a lot of people are not talking about, because a lot of people are mad with, like, McCarthy, you know, Jordan, some petty BS with Scalise, whatever, because they've been in Congress for like 10, 15 years. Hern has been only there since 2019. So I think Hern could be a very good option for Speaker of the House. Now, you got Jack Bergman of Michigan, I believe. Yeah. He's definitely down there on let's not deal with him. You know, I would say he's probably below, you know, Emmer. Again, I say that Emmer's a last resort, but of the realistic, you know, options that have a serious possibility of winning. Bergman, I don't know if he can win, Like, he is getting the Michigan delegation on his side, but he's somebody that I think's kind of just running because, oh, why not? He doesn't have the best record. I mean, you look here, he sucks with worker visas. His ACU scorecard is only 76%. And it doesn't seem like he is going to gain that much momentum outside of Michigan. It sounds like the entire Michigan delegation is backing him. But he's kind of just a candidate that's just kind of there. Don't know why he's running. Now, one that I think is 100% bottom of the tier list. Maybe Bergman is bottom, maybe Emmer, but Austin Scott. Why? Why are you running? Like, Austin Scott, I mean, not the best record. I mean, very similar to McCarthy. Again, he was the anti-Jordan candidate the last second that I think did a lot of damage to Jordan. What he pulled, like, oh, I'm going to run at the last second to possibly shaft over Jim Jordan. Well, what's the worst that can happen? This guy, in my opinion, did cause a lot of damage to Jim Jordan's candidacy. And I think he's just running. I believe I could get the votes. I doubt that anybody would really back Scott. Maybe some of the Scalise people, but, you know, it just seems like one of those candidates that they're running because they screwed over Jordan. They think they're going to get rewarded for it. He's kind of just there. Now, there is one candidate of this list that I think would be a phenomenal speaker and a middle finger to certain people. There's one guy from Florida, a Florida man, that I absolutely 100% support for the speakership. He is my number one pick. Byron Donalds, the legend himself. I 100% support him. His numbers USA scorecard is, I would say, basically perfect. It's like a 98% of refugees and asylees. It is essentially the same as Kevin Hearn. And you look at his ACU scorecard, it's 97%. Basically identical with Kevin Hearn. But there is one advantage that I think a lot of people are not talking about. And I know this sounds crazy, but let's just be real. A lot of these old-ass white, anti-Jordan people, let's be real. If Donalds was put to a vote, how many of them would support Donalds? Just despite Democrats because, oh, we're not the racist. Democrats are the true racist. Again, I'm not saying that Donalds will be the next speaker, but I think he has a good pathway. It's just for the simple fact that he is from Florida. He's getting a lot of support from the state. But also, I think there are a lot of these anti-Jordan people that would just vote for Donalds because of the skin color. I know that sounds crazy, but would you be really surprised if these people just vote Donalds because, oh, we're not racist. The Democrats are the real racist. Would you really be shocked? And Byron Donalds, of anybody that's served in the House so far, of those running, he's only been in there for like 2 years. So he's not pissed anybody off. It seems like he's beloved in the conference. And he has a phenomenal voting record. I think Donalds is my number one choice. Again, Kevin Hearn is also probably my second option. But if we get Byron Donalds out of this, arguably a better voting record than Jim Jordan, it really makes you wonder, what the hell was Don Bacon thinking of? But I think Donalds could absolutely get the support. I know it sounds ludicrous, but would you really be surprised if these morons vote for Donalds because of his skin color? These old-ass white dudes in these safe Republican seats. Oh, I don't want to be seen as racist. I'm going to vote for Donalds to own the Democrats. Despite Donalds having arguably the best voting record. Again, it's stupid that we're even thinking about it, but I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. And even, it doesn't really matter, though, because Donalds has nearly a perfect voting record. So, you just start looking at it, I think Donalds should be the next Speaker of the House. Now, there is one more pick, and it's somebody that not a lot of people know about. Mike Johnson. of, I believe, the state of Louisiana. Yeah. One of the more underrated congressmen in the House. Easily. A 91% career voting record. But you look at this. It's all 100%. He has basically a perfect record. I mean, great immigration policy. He has great ACU scorecard. And he is the House Republican Conference vice chairman. So he does have, I think, some leadership qualities in him that could 100% help him in a vote. Now, as for who I think's gonna win, I would say probably Kevin Hern or Tom Emmer. You know, I think it's gonna be one of those two. Johnson's possibly up there. Donalds, the big question for Donalds is, can he get, how much support can he get outside of the state of Florida? Like, I think he's going to get most of the endorsements from Florida. But if he could pick off, somebody like Scalise, pick off somebody like Stefanik, you just start looking at it. That's his pathway, Donalds. I think the conference does very much like Donalds. He's not been in the House long enough to piss people off. And again, I don't think people are going to vote against him because, they don't want to be seen as racist. Which, again, that's ludicrous to think, but that's how some of these people really think in the House. It just, you can't make this stuff up, but would you really be surprised if that's the case? But again, I'm hoping for Hern, Donalds, Johnson, maybe Tom Emmer as a last resort. Definitely not Austin Scott and not Bergman. I just think those are kind of meme candidates, but we just got to see what happens. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.